stop everything. Am I being those things?
Yeah, that's the hard one.
Yeah.
That's
And
the hard
and
one.
I always come up and say, before I point the finger and say, you're not this and you're not doing this, no, 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 no. Point the thumb first
Yeah.
and say, am I being that for the people that need me in my life? That's all you can control.
Right. Right. So when you discover God, you find Christ, you're still in. Did that change your outlook on your job?
Yes, it did. Morally, I found myself feeling even more responsible as a leader, as a man, of teaching, leading, fighting, being a friend to my platoon, to the guys around me. It wasn't just about tactics anymore. And like, you're going to spend 2 years with me and I'm your platoon chief and I don't teach you anything except tactics. To me, that's a failure as a man, because if I'm spending time with guys that are in their early 20s, who was me when I was there, and I'm not teaching you how to conduct yourself when you're on liberty, how to go out and represent yourself, how to speak, or what your priorities should be at home if you have a wife and children, or not going on the trip and staying home for a week or so to fix things to make sure that you're good and that we will take care of everything. It became more than just a title or a position. It was a responsibility of bringing up and leading other men holistically, and I took that very seriously.
So you almost had a complete identity change, it sounds like.
It was. And when you say identity, people always start, if you ask a group of guys, hey, stand up and introduce yourself. It's, hey, I'm Steve, and I'm this is my job. And it's like, I didn't ask what you did, I asked who you were.
Yeah.
And when I talk about identity now, and for me, my identity is the leader, the warrior, the mentor, the friend. Like, that's me and my character, because that's so Christ wants me to be.
Mm-hmm.
Very clear. I have clarity in my life now.
Yeah.
But you can take my house, you can take my title, you can take my trident, you can take my anchors, you can take my platoon, you can take my truck, all of that. You can never stop me from leading. You can never stop me from fighting the good fight. You can never stop me from teaching, coaching, and mentoring. And you can never stop me from being a good friend. That lives in here. That's who I am inside. And when you can't take that from me, I don't need external things to fill it anymore. I'm already complete. Everything results from the internal to the external. I like to say, you don't see somebody with a watering pail going out to water flowers in a garden. You always see it with the water in the pail that goes out and pours into all the other things. You don't get an empty pail, go to all the plants and pull the water out of them and be like, okay, now I have a full pail. It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. It comes from the internal. Yet this society and expectation we live in is happiness and joy and purpose is all in these external things.
So I want to ask you this, Kris. So you get to the point to where you discover God's real. And you went through a lot of experiences that a lot of people couldn't relate to find that reality of God. What about the flip side of it? Because this is a subject that it gets talked about, but I almost feel like in a way it's glamorized by Hollywood. What about the enemy? How did that look for Kris when you found Christ? You're discovering this whole new sense of purpose, and you're a child of God now. How was it coming from kind of a background where you weren't really in the church or really walking with God, and now all of a sudden you're with Jesus? What was your take on the enemy?
Well, the enemy likes to maneuver and has its own set of tactics that I've paid attention to, because it's a completely different battlefield, spiritual battlefield, we'll call it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot, there are a lot of people in my life that turned away from me because I started speaking in a way and showing improvement, which I think, I don't hate them or anything, but I think it was agitating their own demons, so to speak.
Yeah.